document is a set of bylaws. I brought that. Apologize. My electronic copy had some text that was highlighted in red because I wanted to make sure that you saw that. Well, my printer is black and white. Didn't realize that it didn't copy that red text. So I brought you another copy. Everything's in black, but there are a couple of things that I want to highlight for you. Number one, we're asking for a 3-year commitment, and that starting with 2016, so 16, 17, and 18. Number two, there are very specific requirements for the composition of the board of directors for this organization. They're laid out by statute, and so they're mirrored. Statute is mirrored in the bylaws. Each county with less than 50,000 population has an appointment by the commissioners. That can be a commissioner or your designee. It has an appointment from the county council, which is required to be a county council member. And then each of the 5 largest incorporated cities or towns in the county has an appointment. My understanding in talking with Jane is that that there's only 1 or 2 at the most incorporated cities or towns. So Connorsville would have an appointment designated by the mayor. And Jane's checking on that to see if Glenwood's incorporated and if there are any others. But those incorporated cities and towns have 1 appointment apiece, the 5 largest. And since there are not going to be 5 in Fayette County, the commissioners appoint a member to the board of directors for anything less than 5 incorporated cities and towns. So you all will have 3 or 4 appointments on that basis, and you can appoint anyone who is a resident of Fayette County to that board. One thing I would mention further is that 2/3 of the board members are required by statute to be elected officials, at least 2/3. So as you think about how you fill those appointments, you might consider elected officials. They don't have to be elected officials. So in my home county, Wayne County, for example, where there are 13 incorporated towns, all of those appointments will come from those towns, and so we'll ask them to consider appointing elected officials to make sure that we have that proper mix of 2/3 elected officials. Significantly different from a lot of boards that try to limit the number of elected officials that are part of that group, but for a regional planning commission, has to be at least 2/3 elected officials. The next document you have is a chart that shows the population. This is based on Stats Indiana for 2014, which was the latest information available. It shows the population by county and the dues for each county based on that population. If you recall, when we talked before, we said we would start out at 20 cents per resident. In the second year go to 30 cents, and in the third year go to 40 cents. So for Fayette County, with a population of 23,468 officially by Stats Indiana, the dues for 2016 would be $4,693.60. Going up next year to $7,040.40, and in 2018, $9,387.20. And you can see the dues for each of the counties there. And then the final document is what I've called an office space or location survey. We have not yet designated the official office location for the organization. One of the things that you'll notice from the dues structure is that in 2016 our total revenue is going to be about $28,000. So we don't have a lot of money. The steering committee has requested that I go to each county and each set of commissioners and ask them, are you interested in having the office for the organization be located in your county? And if so, what kinds of facilities do you have available? Could you provide technology, computer, internet access, telephone, supportive services, a furnished office, that kind of thing? And do you have meeting rooms where we could hold board meetings and executive committee meetings? So if you're interested in hosting the organization, if you could fill this out. And of course the last question here is how much would you charge for that service? Of course, we're hoping that number is very low, or in fact maybe would be free. Again, because our budget, our intention is to keep our budget as low as possible, which will allow us to keep the dues as low as possible moving forward. So if you're interested, I'm asking that those be returned to me by the end of this month, by March 31st. Let's see. I want to talk to you just briefly about EDA grant opportunities. I've met a couple of times already with folks from the Economic Development Administration. We're in the Chicago region. In fact, there's going to be a fellow down from Chicago later this week to talk to us about a grant that we're considering applying for, which is hopefully a project that will increase the sewage capacity at the Gateway Industrial Park by utilizing Connersville utilities. So that project is still kind of in flux, but that's one of the projects we're considering. I really want to invite you all to think about, do you have projects, economic development projects that you would want to consider? The EDA can fund up to 50% of a project that they approve. Keep in mind that it has to be something that will ultimately lead to job creation. If there are actual jobs tied to that project, they look at it more favorably. This is one of the reasons that counties are interested in being a part of a regional planning commission of this type, so that they are able to apply for these kind of funds. One of the challenges of organizations in the past has been not really applying for money, and so obviously if you don't apply, you don't get any money. So I want to make sure that you're all aware in each county that we have this opportunity, and to talk to me if you have projects and you're interested in finding out if they might be projects that can be funded through EDA. EDA in this region has $25 million a year. Now it's spread out over a 6-state area, so there is competition for these funds. But we clearly are a region that has economic problems and concerns, and they steer some of those dollars to depressed areas. And unfortunately, I think we qualify on that count. So if you have ideas, please share those with me, and we can talk about what the possibilities might be for funding. Another source of funding is through the state, the Office of Community and Rural Affairs, and they're getting ready to start up their grant cycle for the year. OKRA has community block grants that are available not only for economic development projects, but community development projects. So if that's something that you're considering for the upcoming year, or communities within Fayette County, we'd be happy to be of assistance in putting those plans together and looking at opportunities. That is the bulk of my comments. Be happy to answer any questions that you might have at this point.
I just want to make a comment for those who are watching and for those here. The reason this is important is because the state no longer wants to, they prefer to deal with a region as opposed to a county by county person or contact person. That's why these consortiums that are being formed is so that it's easier for the state to deal with. It's easier for the state to say, well, we'll give you monies to this organization for this region, as opposed to going county to county. And like everything else in life, there are no free lunches. So it's a minimal cost. It's a per capita tax, so to speak, not a tax. It's per capita charge for your population in the county. And it's a minimal amount for what I think could be some good monies for our region and our county. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And not only the state government, but the federal government as well is insisting on membership in a regional organization to even be able to apply for funding. I might mention one other thing. When we talked before, I told you about the SET program that we were participating in. That is moving forward. Some of you were able to participate in the community forum that we had a few months ago. We're continuing in the planning process. There are 5 folks from Fayette County who are part of that committee as we move forward. We've got another meeting towards the end of this month. We have selected 3 what are called industry clusters that the committee feels are important clusters for this region and areas that we want to focus on in our economic development strategies moving forward. Those are advanced materials manufacturing, agriculture, and food processing, and the third one is biomedical and healthcare. So those are the 3 largest employers, the 3 largest clusters by employment in this region, not necessarily in each county, but in the 5-county region combined. And we will be developing strategies that surround those 3 clusters as we move forward. And again, Dan's been instrumental in that process as we develop that plan. So thank you very much for your participation. Thanks for letting me come in today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me.
Thank you, Jeff. You're always welcome.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Mr. Parker, did you have anything to add, or?
I just wanted to go on the record stating that Jeff is currently the interim director of this new regional planning commission, and has just done a fantastic job. Fayette County will ultimately end up becoming a beneficiary of the hard work that Jeff is doing, and that what the SET committee is doing for all 5 of the counties. He mentioned those 3 clusters, which are indeed the highest performing employers in the region. We plan to capitalize on that from a Fayette County perspective. One does not supplant the other. The importance of having the local functions of economic development going on while the regional efforts are going on, or well, they're crucial. Certainly there's things the region can do that the local can't, and vice versa. So we applaud Jeff and his efforts and support him, and we're kind of joined at the hip, really, in the efforts going forward, because they'll end up blessing the entire area, and especially Fayette County.
Would you just succinctly explain to everybody what SET is?
Say it again.
Explain to everybody what SET is.
Stronger Economies Together.
Correct.
Is a Purdue, I guess, sponsored program through Purdue University. And luckily, we get the benefits because that is a Indiana-based college, and we are an Indiana region that's being formed. But they also do the same service which is a lengthy, six-month process to form the SEDS plan, which is the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, which is necessary for formation of a regional planning district. They're doing that through a grant which will allow the 5 counties to get this, probably a very expensive SEDS plan put together for nothing, for free. But what it involves is those 5 counties with the steering committee and the representatives from all the 5 counties coming together and working together to help write this thing, which has taken us from Richmond to Rushville, Fayette County, and our next meeting, I think, is in Winchester. So all 5 counties, we go to each of the counties and spend hours developing the next step through Purdue's supervision. We got 2 PhDs that are helping us put this thing together. And the community, our community, had one of the best showings, they say, they've ever had nationwide, right here in Fayette County, when all the people, the interested parties came to the Miller Building and put the suggestions, and I think all of you were involved in that. And we appreciate the public for coming out and kicking that thing off, and what this is a continuation of what the public started. Is that fairly
Yes.
good?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Next, we have department reports. Mr. Corn from the Highway Department.
Morning.
Good morning.
Finally got back into doing some ditching in the last week or so. Trying to keep our grade all going. We broke down yesterday with it. Finally got it back going again today. So we're trying to get caught up before the rain comes in, and then I'm going to get into sweeping some intersections from the sand, salt sand we put down these last snows we had. Patching holes here and there and everywhere.
On the matter of the grade all, I see some people here that know more about, forgotten more about machines than I'll know. But the current grade all at the Highway Department is 20 years old, and it has over 10,000 hours on it, and quite frankly, it's worn out. I will be approaching the council tonight to ask to purchase a 2014 demonstrator. It's basically we would finance about $280,000. The 5 trucks which were bought 5 years ago, the final payment on them is done this year. That's $147,000. So if the council will commit to funding this purchase of the new grade all, you will still have about an $85,000 to $86,000 savings over and above what has been spent the last 5 years on the trucks. So the trucks would be paid off, we would have a new piece of equipment, and which all sounds good and tidy and tied up in the package, but life isn't always that way. Money is tight right now, but that doesn't keep the job requirements of the County Highway Department. That doesn't suspend them. So I will be approaching the council tonight about that. I've got all the packets of information and stuff here ready for them. So tonight we'll see how this goes.
Yep.
Okay? Anything else, Richard? Any
Yeah.
questions, Richard?
One thing I want to let the public know, the roads get bad over the winter, and you're on a list to patch holes in the road and stuff like that. They can't patch them until the weather gets warm. Am I correct on that?
Well, we got a cold mix that we use, but the problem we have right now, it's not, we can patch a hole, 2 days later it blows out because
Right.
we just ain't got the temperature.
Better to do it in warmer weather.
Right.
Correct. So they're getting to it. So thanks for doing what you're doing.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Veteran Service Officer, Mr. Smith.
Thank you.
Good morning.
You have before you the February statistics and things that took place in the Veteran Service Office. I want to say a thank you to each of the commissioners for your support of the Veteran Service Office, as well as all Fayette County Veteran Service members. For February, the monthly totals, I went down there without going over it. It's got to include in-office, in-person, scheduled and walk-ins, personal interviews, application for healthcare updates. Most of the time is actually spent on gathering of information and claims for applicants, whether they be a veteran, whether it be the spouse, a widow of a veteran, for DIC and death pension. Requests for military records. We have claims now for markers for the headstones at the cemeteries. Military Family Relief Fund is a grant from the state of Indiana, and there was 5 for the month of February on that. We do some homeless assistance. We did 1 in February, and a lot of telephone calls and emails, and you can see the numbers there. There's quite a lot of numbers, a lot of hours involved in each of those.
Look, Bobby, let me interrupt you for a minute because
Yes.
I can see those, but people can't.
Okay.
We're talking about 120 phone calls incoming and outgoing, 153 emails, and I asked him right before the meeting how long it takes to process a claim. He said it depends on how much information is readily available, but it takes between 2 to 6 hours
Sir.
to process a claim, depending on what kind of claim it is and what information is available. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Go ahead.
And that's due to gathering information, putting the whole package together. It just takes a lot of time. Continuation to work and update the names of Fayette County Veterans List of wars located within the courthouse. We're still working on that. And actually, Commissioner Frank there is definitely involved in that, and the other commissioners. We appreciate that. Accreditation training, I just want to give a heads up, May 16th through the 19th. That's an ongoing continuation of education training. It's required every year to stay accredited. And in-office training, as you see, VetRespect, TRIP training, SEP training, and accreditation through one of the organizations, which is the National American Legion out of Indianapolis. And I'm going to keep it short because it looks like a room full here. Any questions?
Thanks, Bobby.
No, sir. Thank you for what you did.
Thank you very much. Have a nice
Appreciate
day.
it. Sheriff Hall?
The only thing I have is tell you guys about our vehicles. The council decided to put the vehicles back in our budget. I spoke with Jeff Friedman, and we are going to purchase 2 2016 Dodge Rams, basic package, nothing added. Got the ugly wheels on them like the last 2 we got. We're going to trade in 2 Durangos, 2 of our older Durangos, and hopefully have those in here in the next few weeks. But I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on, and if you guys have any questions.
I appreciate the fact that you're buying these new vehicles. Number one, you're supporting local business. Number two, those vehicles wear out much more quickly than the average person because of the high speeds, the torques, and the county roads and some of the rough places they have to access. And the four-wheel drives are really, really important, I think.
Yeah, and they hold their trade-in value. We looked at Chargers. It was going to be about $900 difference between getting a Charger and a new truck. And those Chargers on the county roads, the last one we had, they took a beat, and the front end on it was wore out. So just wanted to let you guys know.
Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thanks for doing that.
Thank you.
Appreciate
All right.
it.
Thanks.
Mr. King, IT.
Power went out last night here in the courthouse. I know Bill Gray's looking at that, but in the process, pretty much every one of our servers and computers went off throughout the building. So I've been running around like a chicken with its head cut off this morning, making sure everything was up and running before the start of business. So courts are up and running, everything's good to go. But in the process, we're going to have to get some new battery backups or a generator or something, I think, to augment what we've got. But I'll look at the options that we have for that and what funds that would come out of would probably be my IT funds. So I'm not going to be asking for money. If I do go that route, I'll have to find some way to pay for it out of my stuff. So other than that, February we had a pretty normal month. I've got about 60 things on my to-do list right now that I'm still working on, and that's pretty much it. You guys got anything for me?
Any questions?
I just want to say, you're not a 9-to-5 guy. you work a lot of hours and a lot of overtime and a lot of, and you know, so we appreciate what you do. It's not said enough. I do appreciate how hard you work around here, plus for the city as well. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Community corrections. Our county attorney is pinch hitting, so I know he doesn't have anything for us. Council representative, Mr. Winter, sir.
I have nothing for you, but it sounds like you have something for us tonight.
It's just money, that's all I want.
Well, I'm in agreement with you. I think that grade will probably outlived its life expectancy by then. So I know none of us really want to spend the money that we don't have, but we have to give these guys the proper tools to do their job as well too. So I have nothing.
Any questions?
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it. Any mail?
No.
Old business? New business? Yes.
Warren.
Warren, I'm sorry. I apologize. You weren't on my agenda.
Hi,
How could I
Warren.
forget you? Am I on your list? Come on up. You're on my list, yes.
I have here final countywide bridge inspection reports that were performed last fall, Butler, Fairman, Cypress. They now require federal highway as annual reports on some cases, and these are 12 of them plus a spatial inspection, so there's 13 bridges were inspected annually now. And then the other one is 3 underwater inspections, which are done now at 4 years intervals.
Let me elaborate on that. We have to hire a company that has certified scuba divers, because we have 3 bridges that require underwater inspections, and that's what he's referring to. Believe it or not, we really do have 3 bridges that, depending on the water levels, do require someone to suit up and inspect them underwater. Am I correct?
Yes, that's required. It's over the Whitewater River, those bridges, the foundations are in the river, so they check for the scour, undercutting.
Do you need a motion for us to accept these? Is that appropriate, or is that?
Yeah, that'd be okay. That's
I make a motion to accept these inspections.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to accept the bridge inspection report, Phase 2A for 2015. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes.
okay. Another item concerning bridges, working on replacing the decks on 2 bridges, Bridge 28 and 92, this summer. And the design firm had started these 2 bridges several years ago, and they're updating the plans for that. And I have a quote from Certified Engineering for the construction inspection for both these bridges this summer. And I talked with the design firm, and they declined to give me a quote right now, unless you want to request one from them.
Do you want us to?
I think this firm would be satisfactory with the price. It's for the amount of $26,400.
And for the record, would you tell the public where those bridges are located, please?
The larger one, Bridge 92, is right there at Waterloo, after the 3-way stop between Pennville Road and Waterloo. That's over Nolan's Fork. And 28 is on County Road 300 north, half mile west of 1. So we're planning on having posted detour routes, but we want to get close to the bid openings, and that'll be here, I think, in April and May for construction, in June and through August, depending on the weather.
Okay.
I have this quote here.
Is it your recommendation that we accept this?
I would recommend it. The contract is a basic boilerplate that you might want to have the county attorney look it over.
I think if the board's willing, what we'll do is what we normally do. We'll go ahead and make our motion pending the review and approval by the attorney. That way he's not rushed and it gives us an out if he feels there's any kind of a problem. That's okay.
Okay.
Having said that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the bid from Certified Engineering for, what's the number?
$26,400.
$26,400.
I make a motion that we accept the bid from Certified Engineering for $26,400 pending approval by the attorney of the contract.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes.
Thank you. There's a signature page in the back.
We'll get that at the end of the meeting, if that's okay, Warren.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Oh, I forgot about that. David, come on up. I should have cleaned my contacts last night. I missed Warren and I missed you both. Dave Rickman from the animal shelter.
Well, we got our kennels almost all the way done. On our outside kennels, where we put the new chain link, it's 9 gauge, and we put clamps instead of the wires around them, and we put a rod down on the bottom to make it more sturdier, where dogs or anybody cannot get a hold of them anymore to rip them up that easy. We do have that. We got our new water heater in, and we got our water line in and doing good. Our water bill went way down now. I was glad of that.
Kind of goes up when it's leaking out on the ground.
Oh yeah, it does. I hate to see them, but I do have. I think I don't know if I can give you the monthly report in January or not. I'm not for sure.
Don't believe so.
But I do have a copy of it,
Okay.
and I do have a copy of February. And
Why don't, excuse me for interrupting, why don't you tell us what you told me yesterday about how many dogs or excuse me, animals are coming in, how many are being adopted out?
well, that's what I'm getting ready to with the
Okay.
reports. That's January.
Let me see that name on your shirt. That looks good. I like that. Good job.
Sorry, my hand's not working real good this morning. That's that one.
Thank you.
In the month of January, we started out, previous month, we had 12 animals carried over. We had 6 current in January, 12 people surrendered. That came up to 30 animals. We had put 3 of them down because of their behavior or just too wild of cats. We sold 20. We had 7 on hand. Then we had pickup on DAs with 4 cats and 3 other animals. That was mainly like deers or raccoons on that month. Then on the 2nd in February, we had 7 animals on hand, like I said on that. Then we had 7 surrendered animals from people, from the public. We had 40 current that was brought in for the month. And you add all that together, was 54 animals total. We put I had to put 1 animal down. We sold 21, adopted out 21 and claimed 21 animals. That leaves 15 on hand as this month. We had to pick up on our DAs. It shows that we picked up 3 dogs that got killed, 4 cats, and 5 others. That's, like I said, raccoons, deers, possums, skunks. And I had 1 cat escape from us. I do not know how, but it did. And I get 1 back to the owner. You know, on the pursuit fence, I try to work with the owner. As long as they have the rabies shots up, I'll let them have their dog back. But if they don't, I make them pay for the rabies shot, at least the rabies shot and the impoundment fee. You know, I'm trying to work with the people out here, make it affordable for them to get their animals and everything. And everybody is welcome to come up and look at the new kennel doors on the outside. You know, I'm trying to do a little bit at a time as we can, as we possible can, make it look more presentable. And yesterday, I want to thank the highway department for bringing gravel up into our parking lot, our driveway, because whenever we did the water line, we had to tear up a lot of stuff there, and it's now not as muddy. So I want to thank that. Is there any questions or anything you want?
You told me the other day that you have some concrete work
Yes.
that needs to be done. What I instructed him to do was have Bill Gray come up and look at it and then get us some prices as to what needs to be done.
I talked to Bill yesterday after I got done with you,
Super.
and I asked Bill to come up. He's going to come up sometime this week. We're going to look at it and go from there. We did, I don't know if you guys noticed that we got our uniforms in and everything. And our brown shirt with the yellow lettering, and we got the cargo pants, used for uniforms. So we're working on all that.
Dave, you're doing a good job up there. We appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate your guys' help getting everything done up there that I like to try to get done and everything, you know, for backing us up and all that. And,
Looking
you know,
very,
we got to think a lot of the people too that coming up for adoption and everything for the animals. You know, we're trying to keep our ED numbers low, you know, because we don't want to do it unless we have to. You know, if we can keep them moving, I like to see them move. And you know, people calls up there and ask me how long I keep an animal. I said, I can't promise you nothing, but we try to keep them as long as possible, as long as we got the room and based on their behavior and their health on that. You know, I can't take the chances of dogs that shows a little aggressive to adopt them out, you know. But we're doing pretty good on all that, I think, you know. I just want to thank everybody.
Any questions?
no,
Thank you,
thanks,
sir.
Dave.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, did you want to address us or just visit?
I'm just visiting, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, I appreciate that.
See what's going on.
Teresa Combs? And friend?
Yeah. I'm Teresa Combs, and I'm president of the Fayette County Master Gardeners, for one thing. And last year, some of us were talking, and anyway, we formed a group to try to revive the farmers market. And there was 3 members of Master Gardeners, and then Becky Marble from Purdue Extension. Since the first of the year, we've been really working on this, researching it, networking with other counties. We just recently went to a farmers market forum in Indianapolis and learned so much. And it's a a way to promote healthy eating, support our local farmers, support our local small businesses, support a healthy lifestyle in general. We want to bring in all types of different information for people. We're currently under the umbrella of EDG because I understand at some point a couple years ago, I guess, they just discontinued it because they didn't have the time to continue it. So I think it's really important, extremely important, to have one here in Fayette County, and all the other pretty much all the other counties have one, and they're very successful. And what we'll do is have local producers or anything homemade locally from Fayette and bordering counties only. And we have worked on rules and regulations, making them very clear on it being locally made or locally produced. So the city has already approved the area out here, the corner of the parking lot. What I'm asking today is, I didn't realize, but the one row of parking places out there belongs to the county. And I wanted to know if we could come back, you know where where the steps are, come back into the grassy area if we need it, and go straight out to Central, and if we need a grassy area, because we just keep adding layers and layers to this music, just all kinds of things to make it really a community and learning event. But we wanted to know if we could have that, and if you want to go ahead and
Excuse me, you're talking about doing this on Saturday, am I correct?
Saturday morning from 8 to 11 at this time.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Hi,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
Becky Marble,
Becky.
and I'm with the Purdue Extension. I am the new Community Wellness Coordinator. I've worked for the Nutrition Education Program for 5 years here in the county. The county does not pay a dime for me. They do give me a wonderful office downstairs. I appreciate that very much. Purdue has a grant from USDA, and what it is to try to make our communities healthier. And sad to say, Fayette County ranks 91 out of 92 for the poorest health. And so my main concentration here is in Fayette County, how to make the healthy choice easy. And somewhat one of the policies and environmental changes that what we're going to be working on is the farmers market, but including where we can take food stamps, where residents in the community who are on food stamps can come buy fresh fruits and vegetables. The one reason why we wanted the farmers market down this area is because this is what we call a food desert. Now, food desert means there's no fresh fruits and vegetables accessible to low-income individuals. So if they had no transportation and they're walking to the Family Dollar, if you go look, there's no fresh fruits and vegetables. And with the high obesity rate that we have in our state, 2/3 of Hoosiers are overweight, and with 1/3 of them being children. So the USDA is putting a lot of money into these programs across the state of Indiana to try to get us to be healthy. One other thing that we're hoping to implement right away is senior vouchers. And senior vouchers are through Area 9. In fact, Fayette County, I was just at the same state meeting and we were called out that no one ever, there's thousands of dollars that are not being used here in Fayette County. And so what we're hoping to implement is these vouchers. Seniors can come and get them through the Area 9, and they can come and purchase fresh fruits and vegetables. So they don't have to go outside the county. Also, WIC vouchers is something that we're going to be accepting. And so I really appreciate Teresa doing this, because this is really going to help our community to look better for businesses. I am here to get our numbers up. I don't want to be at the bottom of the barrel, and I know you don't either. And so please use me to help you. And I have wealth of information from Purdue, and Purdue is here, the Nutrition Education Program is here to help make Connersville a healthy place.
Becky, will you be serving on our wellness committee that we have here for the courthouse?
Yes, yes, I am one of the initial starters of that, so I'm very excited about that.
Okay.
I have one thing to mention real quick. Well, one concern and one thing to mention. The one thing to mention is the fact that I would ask the community to support this program. It's important to buy locally from farmers. You're supporting your local farmers. It's healthier for you. It's not processed from another state. The only concern I have with the grassy area is if you get a lot of traffic, it's going to start killing the grass. So I don't know how we're going to be able to make sure we don't do that. But other than that,
I didn't know this was in the
Yes.
records, so I just thought that
Is this
might,
my copy? That's an original.
that's an original, but I have a copy, but I thought that might shed a little light on what area is yours
No,
and
we-
it was okayed at one time.
We know,
so.
and
Okay.
I think I can speak for the board, we don't have any problems whatsoever if you roll over into our area, that's fine, okay?
We'd be
It's
very
for-
respectful of it.
It's for a,
Appreciate
it's for a good cause. I'll let you have this back because it's got an original signature on it. I've got the resolution number on there.
Okay.
And I will make sure our insurance, that Wilson Lawson Myers knows about this just in case there's a problem.
And
Okay.
it may be that it would just be used occasionally because we're planning different activities too for kids. So, you know, we might use it one week, not the next. But I just thought that'd be another space to maybe kind of spill over on different things. So, but yeah, I hope everybody.
Comes out and buys
Yeah,
things.
yeah, we've
Participates.
really been working hard and like I said, research and networking and just learning from other counties. And we've had great response. There's a lot of people that want to be vendors. And so the community really needs to support it though. They have to make the effort.
Teresa, did I understand that the surrounding counties, like people that live like in Western Wayne,
Would be able to
those farmers
participate.
can
Yes.
also come down
Yeah,
here?
you're talking Franklin, Union, Rush, and Wayne. No farther than that.
I have a cousin that grows a lot of produce, and she lives up on Creek Road, just south of
We'd
Centerville.
love to have her.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be great.
And we'll continue to, as we know, we'll continue to share details through the paper, and then we have a Facebook page, and we're working on getting on the website that John,
John Plazzi?
he said he'd help us get a page there, so.
You might also, Mr. King that was here a moment ago, his office, if you go out the door, it's the first door on your right there, okay? He can put up a link on our website to yours,
Okay.
okay? If, but you'll need to contact him and tell him it's been approved by us.
That'd be great.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay.
All right.
County website's Connersville Community.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
We do have one other request by one of our appointed officials. It deals with medical, so I'm not going to mention his name, but he will be having some surgery this summer, and he may be off for 6 weeks. And he had some surgery in a couple of years prior, and we contracted an employee to take his place. So without mentioning any names and without committing to an actual person, I think I would appreciate if the board go ahead and authorize me to sign off on any contract with whomever he chooses to replace him. He's already had somebody, according to the letter, that's been shadowing him, so trying to learn what he's doing and the ins and outs.
So moved.
So moved.
Okay. I have a motion and a second to allow me to sign off on a contract for replacement for our employee who's going to be on sick leave for 6 weeks. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes. Okay, patron concerns. by here? Going once, going twice, okay. Having said that, I'll accept a motion for the approval of claims and payroll.
So moved.
Second?
Have a motion and a second for the approval of claims and payrolls, or any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes. Nothing else to come before the board? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 3 ayes. We are adjourned.